From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for November 7th. In your vote, 2022 Election Day is tomorrow, and Wish TV is watching the top races in the state. A national political analysis group rates Indiana Secretary of State race a toss-up. Republican Diego Morales is running against Democrat Destiny Scott Wells and Libertarian Jeff Maurer. Morales is one of several Republican candidates who have raised doubts about the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Sabato's Crystal Ball cites comments from Indiana political commentator Brian Howey calling the level of bad press surrounding Morales historic. Another top race is for Indiana's first congressional district. The House seat in northwestern Indiana has been held by a Democrat since 1931. Representative Frank Mervan currently holds the seat. He's been locked in a tight race with Republican Jennifer Ruth Green all year. Republicans only need 5 seats to take back the House. J. Miles Coleman with Spotter's Crystal Ball spoke with News 8 about the race.
I would say on election night, if it looks like Mervan is going to hold on, okay, well, there's maybe a chance that things might not go too badly for Democrats. If he only barely holds on, well, I think Republicans have a good chance of flipping the House. If it's a decisive win in favor of Green, I think the Republicans could have a pretty decent majority.
The midterm elections typically see lower turnout than presidential races. This morning, a local expert is speaking to why it's still important to vote. News 8's Cody Adams explains why your vote matters.
This election, Senate and House seats are on the ballot. This could change who is in power, and it's a way for you to show your power when you vote. Here in Indiana, there's a high-profile Senate race, congressional races in every district. The Secretary of State, Treasurer, and Auditor positions are all up for grabs, and many local positions like judges and school board members. Now remember, they're nonpartisan, so if you vote straight ticket for one party, you do not get to vote for school board members. Mark Fraley is an associate director, professor of political and civic engagement at Indiana University. He says look at the candidates and figure out how their views might impact your daily life. The more people who vote, no matter the outcome, the more politicians will take notice of who you are.
So there's a direct correlation between the power that you have to exercise over people in authority if you cast a vote on election day, regardless if that vote in and of itself changes the outcome of that election. So it's not a matter of saying, does my vote matter? It's a matter of saying, do I matter? And if you matter, then you have power by casting your vote and changing the attention of policymakers to your concerns.
He also says make sure you do your research before you go to the polls. You can find plenty of information about political candidates through political websites as well as government websites and, of course, your local news coverage here at wishtv.com. Reporting in Indianapolis, Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
In the lead up to the election, political violence has turned into a major concern. News 8's Amisha Ramsey brings us insight from another expert, this one from IUPUI.
That's right. Aaron Dusso is a political science professor. Now, he says some political candidates may even tactically exploit violence or encourage it. He calls it one of the downfalls of democracy. Now, Dusso says there are 3 major reasons political violence has become more normalized: the rejection of the rule of law, denying the legitimacy of political opponents, and the readiness to diminish civil liberties of individuals. Dusso says political violence isn't just limited to the elections. He cited what seems like a reoccurring theme to threaten and cause harm to political candidates, like the recent attack at House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home.
It becomes a real danger, not just in its occurrence, but in the fact that political elites seem to be tolerating it, and this is where where the danger ramps up significantly. It's the political elites who not only tolerate this but encourage political violence, and we've seen that a lot more over the last several years.
Dusso encourages voters not to be intimidated by poll watchers or violent actors bringing guns to polling locations. He says those people are simply at the polls to scare people away. In the newsroom, Amisha Ramsey, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Today is the last date to vote early. In Marion County, voting is available at the Indianapolis City County Building. In Hamilton County, you can vote at the Government and Judicial Center or the Fairgrounds. The courthouses in Boone and Johnson counties will be open. So will the Morgan County Administration Building and the Hendricks County Government Center. Early voting closes at noon today. In Colts Watch, the team's trip to New England has Colts fans feeling a familiar defeat. The Colts went into yesterday's game hoping to avoid a 3-game losing streak. The team also was wanting to beat the Patriots in New England for the first time since 2006. Neither goal was met. The Colts lost 26-3. Pats sacked quarterback Sam Ehlinger 9 times in its 26-3 defeat over the Colts yesterday. The team will now travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders with hopes to break the 3-game losing streak. Happening today, part of Meridian is closing near Fall Creek because of work to enhance the Red Line bus station. People driving on Meridian will have to take Central Avenue using 29th and 30th Streets. A temporary bus stop will also be at Meridian at 25th for people riding the Red Line. The project should be done within 3 weeks. Police in Pennsylvania are searching for multiple shooters after a mass shooting outside a bar in Philadelphia. It happened just before 11 Saturday night. Police say several people jumped out of a car and opened fire into a crowd on a busy street in the Kensington neighborhood. Investigators say the suspects injured at least 9 people. 5 are in critical condition, and the other 4 are stable. Police are now trying to figure out a motive for the violence. They say the suspects may have spotted someone they wanted to shoot at. Police have recovered at least 40 bullets at the scene but haven't found any weapons. New research is offering hope for treating long COVID. According to a study from the Veterans Affairs Health System, Paxlovid reduces the risk of developing severe long COVID conditions. Paxlovid is an antiviral pill. Researchers analyzed the records from more than 56,000 veterans. That number includes 9,000 veterans who took Paxlovid within 5 days of their COVID-19 infection. Study found that those treated with Paxlovid had a 26% reduced risk of developing heart disease, blood disorders, liver and kidney diseases, fatigue, and other symptoms. Study had some limitations. The majority of people it included were white men and only considered 12 long COVID symptoms. Happening today, a chance to win the biggest Powerball jackpot in history. Tonight's drawing is now at $1.9 billion after no one won the jackpot over the weekend. That's a cash value of $929.1 million. Tonight's drawing is at 11:30. Good luck. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Wish TV. I'm Hannah Wardo. Watch us on Wish TV and follow us on Facebook.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.